Good evening, everybody, and welcome to ANZCAR. Welcome to the 2024 season launch party. We are here tonight. I'm Mr. Carl Wilkinson with you up here in the booth, joined by Mr. Edward Foster. Ed, how you going, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. It's been a while, hasn't it? We're back.
We are very rusty. Absolutely no technical issues tonight. It went as smooth as anything. Cough, cough. We hope you enjoyed that intro video, getting us ready for the 2024 season. Excellent video there, put together by Mr. Edward Foster. So showing that he's not just talented on the track.
Or not even talented on the track, as the case may be. But yeah, we'll run through it anyway. Let's get this show on the road, and we'll start explaining what we're actually doing this year, huh?
Absolutely. Once we get that. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to start off with our Monday night series, if I can actually get it working.
Well, what we'll actually probably talk about before is we might actually talk just a little bit about the new format and the ideas behind that, because we've seen such massive growth this year. Over the past year, with the amount of leagues and everything that are popping up running stock cars, which is just awesome. Because not too many years ago, we were the only ones doing it. So it's really cool to be able to see a few other guys sort of dipping their toes in the water and getting involved in running leagues and competitions and stuff like that. And that's really given us a little bit of an opportunity to pursue something a little bit different. I guess the last few years we've gone and run, our full season championships and those kind of things. Very normal as far as the Truck Xfinity Cup kind of ideas as well. And with a lot of other guys coming along and sort of looking to run full cup seasons across the year and everything else, really gives us the freedom to go and change things up a little bit, knowing that the responsibility of holding and hosting all those top three series doesn't just fall on us anymore. So it's given us the freedom to kind of go out there and try and innovate a little bit, try to be a little bit different, explore a little bit of extra variety as well. That's one of the things that we've been trying to do and wanting to do for a number of years now, is put a little bit more variety into it. So we've been able to do that as well. We've got a fair bit to announce. It's all changed for this year. So I guess we'll push on.
Absolutely, yeah. It's great to have some extra series coming along and taking up a little bit of the slack and just giving some extra opportunities as well to drivers and to viewers and things like that, with the Australian Outlaw series and the eNASCAR series.
Yeah.
Elongated E on that one.
It's several.
It is just really good to see that coming along. And as you said, it just gives an opportunity for us to try something a little bit different, which is going to be, it's going to be fun to actually experience that.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. Looking forward to it. It's a little bit of a change up for us. So we didn't need probably three series out there running the full cup season and stuff like that. So it's given us a chance to probably push on into something a little bit different. So what we might actually do is we might start off with the Thursday series, because that's probably the one that's actually staying, closest to what people know. So historically, over the last few years, we've been looking at a Thursday night series, and that's been our cup night. So last few years, for the guys who've been around for a while, you'll know that we've been running the cup series on the Thursday nights, and we've been running the trucks on the Monday. So the Monday night series, as you can see there, probably on the screen right now, is changing a little bit. So it's going to be, we're calling it our lightning rounds, because they are very quick and fast series. There's going to be 6-week seasons across the year, and they're going to have a bunch of different formats and cars and everything like that to run through, and I'll get into those in a little bit. I can see we've actually got Thursday series on the screen at the moment, so we might just continue on with that one. So we're going to still run 36 weeks across the year, but it's going to be divided up into 3 seasons. There's going to be the 12 weeks worth of trucks, and then we're going to change it up again. It's going to be 12 weeks of the Thunder, which is what we run the name we run our Xfinity series under. And then we're also going to have a 12-week Cup season at the end of the year as well. So across that Thursday night, it's going to change up every 12 weeks, and there's going to be an individual championship awarded for those 3. Now, the other big change that we wanted to bring in for a few years, but we haven't been able to just because of the limitations with the scoring software and everything like that, SimRacer Hub that we use, is we haven't been able to run a second split. And that just, without boring you all, is just the way that it plays with the drop rounds and everything like that. Makes it very difficult to do. So we've actually got rid of the drop rounds this year. There's going to be no more drop rounds, no more guessing where you're at going into the last round. It's just going to be that straight 12-week championship season, and what that's given us the opportunity to do as well is run a second split. So the top split, of course, is going to be broadcast, and the splits are going to be based on qualifying time. Now, one of the changes that we're going to bring in for this year is we're going to allow a little bit of extra qualifying. So we're going to have a set qualifying period, but instead of just being limited into 2 laps, you're going to have the opportunity to run as many laps as you can within that particular time period that you're given, and that's basically just there to make sure that guys aren't, guys who really should be running in the top split don't just make a mistake on their qualifying lap and wind up running in the bottom split or something like that. We don't want that. We want guys to be running very much like iRacing officials. We want guys to be running with people of their same speed, and we don't want guys going out there and just demolishing the bottom split because they made a spinning qualifying or something like that. So we're allowing a little bit of extra qualifying in order to make sure that you wind up in the right split. And apart from that, the splits are essentially going to function as in, if we get 40 cars or less, we're going to run the single split. So everybody will be there on the track together. But if we get more than 40 cars, then the top 30 are going to be in the top split. It's going to split at 30. So we'll still get guaranteed 10 cars at least in that bottom split, and they'll be able to get a decent race there as well. So we're not going to have a scenario anymore where people are showing up. We know what these things are like at the beginning of the year where the servers fill up in about 4 minutes. We're not going to have that again this season. Everybody who shows up is going to have the opportunity to get a race. So that's one of the most important things for us to do. And that's going to be our Thursday night. So 12 weeks of trucks, 12 weeks of Xfinity cars, and then 12 weeks of Cup to round the year off.
That's it, and of course we're still going to be broadcasting over on Performance E, streaming for the season, which is great. So we look forward to you joining us there on Thursday nights, and we'll be continuing that on as per normal. But it's going to be nice to have a bit of a mix-up with giving people the opportunity to race the trucks, the Xfinity and the Cup cars for the season. We feel it's going to really shake things up and add a lot more fun to the calendar.
Yeah, that's the idea behind it. It's all about, we canvassed a few people last year just regarding how they felt about the current format and everything, and that served us really well during COVID, when of course none of us were allowed to be outside. But and of course there's always sort of there's definitely a few people out there who do prefer the long 36-week season, but as we mentioned before, there's options out there now as far as other leagues and so on. So that gives us the freedom to explore a little bit more variety for ourselves. So, that's going to be the format we're going to be running on Thursday night. So, hopefully see everyone along for that one. Should be really good. So should we move across onto the Monday series now, Connor?
That's it. I was going to say, speaking of variety, we should head over to Monday nights, because that's where everything changes.
Yeah, Monday nights is going to be a little bit. Is probably going to be the biggest change up. So we did touch on that earlier on when Carl had the slider, but we're referring to this Monday night series as our lightning rounds, because they are six seasons across the year, and they are 6 weeks each. So they're all running something a little bit different, and I'm pretty keen on this myself. These ones aren't going to be broadcast. They are going to be very low key, and they are just going to be for people to come out and enjoy. So it's going to be a lot more casual, I guess, than our Thursday night broadcast series is. These are just for people to get stuck into and really have some fun with. So We're starting out with our first 6 weeks. We're actually going modified racing. So we're going to have the Wheeling Tour Modifieds running for 6 weeks on a variety of short tracks. And I'm going to be posting all the calendars up in the Discord when we're done here. So won't be too, I won't run through the entire calendar now, but that'll be up and available for you guys. And then the second group of 6 weeks, we're actually going to be running the Gen 6s. So we're going to have a run in the later version of the Gen 6s, the higher downforce set with the Chevy Camaro, Ford Mustang, and the Camry, the outgoing cars just before the next gen came in. And then my personal favourite, you won't be surprised to see us in here, we're going to see 6 weeks worth of the Legends, the NASCAR Legend cars from iRacing, the 1987 cars, and we've chosen a whole bunch of old school tracks to go run those on. And then one which I'm actually really keen on as well is the Legacy Gen 6, which is the older Gen 6, the high horsepower, low downforce Chevy SS and Ford Fusion. And we're going to be running those for 6 weeks after that. And then moving on from there, we've got 6 weeks of Gen 4. And then after we go on from the Gen 4, we've got some Cars Tour, the late model stocks. It's going to be running some short tracks there as well. So those are going to be slightly shorter races. The Monday night series is going to be a little bit shorter in terms of race length than the Thursday night series, but still more than enough laps for you guys to get your teeth stuck into it and really have some fun. So going to be cool to be able to get out there and run a whole bunch of different cars, different tracks, different style of racing. And you never know, come along and try something you haven't tried before, and perhaps you can find a new favourite.
That's it. Gives a lot more variety for the racing, and hopefully with that it will just give people the opportunity just to sort of work on some different skills, work on some different driving styles as well, because there's a whole heap of different ways these cars drive, and that's really going to shake things up as well. I'm sure it's going to make a bit of difference to who's leading as well. I know you can't take down the quality of some of the drivers, but sometimes when you throw them in a car that they're not used to, it can even the playing field just a tiny bit.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to the fact that there's a couple of dark horses who run in the modifieds very, very well. I've had the experience of being humbled by them on a couple of occasions now. So, keep your eyes open, guys. There's possibly some new competition at the front.
None of them will be me, but we will continue. Now, we're going to be going into, we've gone over the launch for 2024, and that's the main details. But we are opening the forums up tonight to any questions. I know we've got quite a few viewers out there tonight. Thank you for joining us. So if you would like to get your questions in on Facebook or on YouTube, whichever platform that you are watching from, that would be good. But before we head to that, we are also going to be having the Crown Jewel events.
Yeah, so this is actually a pretty cool one. So I think that a lot of the people who run with us regularly would say that our Daytona 500 weekend is probably our best weekend of the year in terms of just the build up to it and just the whole atmosphere around it. It's always really good fun. So what we've actually done is we've tried to actually replicate something similar to that a few times across the year. So our Daytona 500 will run again exactly the same as it always has, but it's going to be part of these Crown Jewels, which are 5 races which are going to happen on weekends across the course of the year. So they're going to be running qualifying on Saturday. We will keep apart from the Daytona 500, which is a little bit different because we've got the Jewels in there as well. And we'll publish all of the specifics in the Discord. But the basic format is that the qualifying will be a qualifying server that's going to be open for a few hours on the Saturday. And then on the Sunday, around about midday-ish, we're going to be running the races. So there's 5 different races across the year. The first one, of course, is our Daytona 500. We've never abandoned that one. It's always such a good weekend. So we've got qualifying, the Jewels, and the Daytona 500, and that's got to be happening on the weekend of the 17th and 18th of February. And then moving on to the 30th and 31st of March, we've got the Winston 500, Talladega, which is going to be taking place in the NASCAR Legends cars. So if you've never had the opportunity to grab hold of one of these cars that will actually go around about 15k an hour faster on its own than a modern car will do in a pack, that's definitely something to try out. It's a totally different driving style. You don't pack race those cars. It doesn't work. But we're going to have 188 laps there at Talladega replicating the old Instant 500. And then moving on to the 1st and 2nd of June, Coke 600. We're back in the next gen car for that one. 400 laps around Charlotte for that one. Very famous race. Obviously, iRacing has its official one. We've got one here as well, and that's going to be really, really fun. And then we are moving in the 27th to 28th of July. We're going to be looking at the Gen 4 Cup car at the Indy Motor Speedway for the Brickyard 400. So 160 laps there in that particular car. And then we're moving on to the Southern 500, 31st of August and 1st of September, that weekend. Southern 500, and we're going to be running the Gen 6 cars in that race. So those races are all going to be broadcast on C streaming. They are going to all be open setup races. So these are the only open setup races that we're doing. A lot of build up, a lot of atmosphere and everything around them. These are going to be big events, and there's going to be an individual trophy for the winner of each one of those particular races. So if you've run in our Daytona 500 before and you've enjoyed that, enjoyed the atmosphere and build up around that, then we're going to be replicating that 5 times across the year. So that should be really good fun for everyone as well. And looking forward to hopefully getting involved in a few of those myself, but definitely I'll be around putting on those races. So that's the specifics around them, and the supplementary regulations around those are all going to be posted up in the Discord. So if you are after more detail, it's all going to be there for you to see pretty much at the conclusion of this.
Absolutely. Of course, head over to Discord and, of course, the ANZCAR website as well for all the latest news and headlines and bits like that. And it's turning out to be a very different season for us, but we hope it's going to be a really interesting one, because it's just going to really shake things up, especially on a broadcasting standpoint. It's going to make things a little bit more tricky for me, so expect more wrong things said. But we are hoping it's going to bring out some really good racing, and that's the main thing. We hope this encourages some great racing out on track.
Yeah, it should be, and it's given us with these other leagues popping up, it's really given us the opportunity to explore some of this stuff as well, which has been kind of cool. So, and that probably actually segues pretty well into the next section that we wanted to get onto, because we have mentioned a couple of times the other leagues that are actually running out there. We wanted to give these guys a bit of a plug, because they are part of the stock car racing community over here as well in our part of the world. They work every bit as hard on their leagues as well. So it's important we give those guys their time, and we really encourage our members to go over and run with those guys as well. So the first one that we've run a few events in tandem with, I think, over the years. They were called Weekend Warriors. This year they're being changed. They're just rebranding. They're going to be called Aussie Outlaws, and they're going to be running their full year Cup series as well as things. We've also got the NASCAR series, which has started up towards the end of last year, and they're going to be running Truck, Xfinity, and Cup all year long, open setup races, and all the rest of that. So that's go and check those guys out. We will make sure, hopefully, to get some links to those guys in our Discord as well, and make sure you get out there and have a run with those guys. Well, I'm going to do my best to get out there for a few races myself, and definitely encourage everybody else to do the same and support those guys, because a rising tide raises all boats, as they say. I mean, more racing, stock car racing we've actually got in our region to take part in, the better it's going to be for everybody. So we will share some links in the Discord for the other leagues, and a lot of stuff I'm going to be sharing in the Discord at the conclusion of this little launch here. So, but definitely go and check those guys out.
Okie dokie. So just a shame Bowen will be sharing those in the Discord, so make sure to jump in there. Mr. Dave Douglas, hey Dave, what length is qualifying, and is it run on the same server as the practice and single car?
Okay, so I think that's probably about the Thursday series. Yeah. So in order to separate the two splits, the qualifying I believe the qualifying at the moment is still going to be set 5 minutes, but it's going to be as many laps as you can run in that 5 minutes. The practice quali server will still be separate from the race server, because obviously we have to set up the splits. So qualifying will happen, that'll finish, we'll go away, we'll set up the different splits, and then we'll launch the race servers together. So Yeah, and it will still be single car qualifying, lone qualifying. That's the way that it works on ovals. You don't want guys with that few before where we've seen open qualifying sessions. Rather, it's all just about the so you know, it'll still be single car.
Absolutely. It's always fun when somebody makes a mistake and you end up with all the cars on track at Talladega for qualifying. You end up with an amazing lap or a terrible lap.
Yeah, and it's all dependent on how good the guy behind you is. So no, we don't want that. It's all going to. So, yeah, we just had the name of the ANZCAR series that we've been calling. We've actually had it corrected for us. It's the Australian NASCAR E Series, and we'll make sure that we get a link to those guys up in our Discord. We've got Lockie come through. Lockie, how are you? With the 500, will there be any locked-in cars? Will be race your way in all bar the front row? So, the charters from last year, that's another topic that I did want to discuss because we did have some guys who were charter holders for the Cup Series. So, the guys who actually fulfilled their obligations last year, continued showing up for the entire season, everything, who still have charters right now, those charters are going to lock you into the crown jewel races. All right, so Daytona 500, Winston 500, Coke 600, Brickyard 400, Southern 500, charter holders are going to be locked in to all of those races. All right. Anybody else who wants to apply for a charter can do so. There's going to be some more information up in the Discord at the end of this, just regarding criteria that we're looking for somebody who holds a charter. But anybody who has a charter as of the end of last year is going to be locked into those crown jewel races as well. So yeah, good question, Lockie, because I think I forgot to note that down as the discussion point. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's about right. We've had a bit of a night tonight with technical issues and things like that, so we do apologise a little bit for that. It's been the usual chaos here at the Performance E-Streaming ANZCAR Central. So we have still open it up if there's any more questions, of course. I can't remember if you touched on the second split for the Cup, well, for the Thursday series, Ed, just with the points in that one.
Yeah, so the points are essentially going to follow on from the bottom of the points that are handed out for the top split. So I believe if we have two splits, there's only going to be 30 cars in that top split. So points down to 30th, and then for the second split, the winner of that is obviously going to get points from 31st and down, although there will still be bonuses for leading laps and so on in that split available as well. Question there, Paul Jackson, full open setup racing or open setup, full open setup or racing open setup? Everything's going to be fixed with the exception of crown jewels. Short answer.
Yeah, changing it from how we were running it last year, just going to a little bit more of a simplified option for this season.
Yeah. Riley Curtis, what time is the wet t-shirt contest? Man, if you can get Skirley back, then we'll try and sort that out. I think he's probably in for that.
Yeah, I don't have a fan on in my room at the moment, so it's right now.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while. Maybe he's watching. I don't know. Maybe he's watching. Yeah, I think he did. Definitely.
All good. And look, it's going to be a bumper season again. It was a really long season last year, so that's why we sort of done the slight little change on the Thursday nights as well, just to reduce the stress and the fatigue that it can get for a full 36 race season.
I've got another question here, Paul Jackson. Do we still need telemetry upload also? So yeah, good question. We're not going to require it. The only time it's going to be required is actually on request. So the only reason that we ran the telemetry upload previously was just because of the semi-fixed format that we were running. We needed to make sure that everybody was loading the correct setup and then doing their tweaks from there, which is why we made it compulsory for everyone to put it in there. With the Thursday and the Monday series being fixed, and of course the crown jewels being open, there's no requirement for that. So we're not going to need it, but if there's any incidents or anything like that we need to review, we might request it. So probably the best thing that we would recommend is to save it, keep it there on your computer, and after the results are actually published there on the Facebook page, feel free to go and delete it. All right, so because after those results go up, we're not going to be requesting anything further from there. So maybe just hang on to it for a couple of days for us until such time as the results go up. It'll be very much a help and is a requirement that if we do ask for it, it needs to be provided, but that'll only be to assist with incident reviews and things like that.
Yeah, so just don't crash.
Yeah, don't crash.
Yeah.
Easy, right? I'm sure there won't be any crashes at Daytona. It'll be fine.
Oh, exactly. I mean, it's not that hard. I mean, I shouldn't speak.
If anybody figures out the secret of crashing,
yeah, it would be great.
it'd be nice.
Oh dear, yes, it would be indeed. So, if there's any more questions, feel free to type them in. We'll give you a couple of moments to do that. But it's going to be Dave Douglas coming in stage racing at Daytona.
Yeah, stage racing at Daytona. No. Not until such time as iRacing puts something in that we can let it run automatically or something like that. Then either like stage racing at Daytona or anywhere else.
Yes.
I guess the only other thing to cover off is just regarding the application. So if anybody out there sort of watching this and thinking how to get involved, just go to ANZCAR.com and click on the league application tab there at the top, and we'll get an email through, and then we'll actually just review it and we'll send you out a league invite from there. The only thing to remember is just me personally, I'm going to be away until Monday. So if you do send your application in, you don't get anything back for a couple of days, don't stress. I'm coming back, but I won't be back until Monday. So yeah, all league applications will be pending till then. Lachlan, will you guys be doing yellows on road courses, software or manually? We won't be running any road courses this year, actually. We saw that the car counts were quite a way down for those during the season. We didn't have a lot of those, so we're steering away from the road courses this year. We won't be running any. So yeah, no road course, no yellow flags, no checkers.
Yeah, it's the way to keep Andrew Dyson and DPR off the podium this season.
Yeah, I think I don't have too much issue winning either. So, yeah, no, we sort of looked at it and we're thinking like nobody's running with us to run road courses, and the numbers sort of were reflecting that. I keep a fairly good spreadsheet of numbers of various track types and car types and things like that, and the road courses just weren't pulling the fields and weren't really overly well loved. I don't think they didn't seem to be. So we've given them a bit of a break for this year. If there's enough demand, we might look at bringing them back a little bit later on. But for the moment, there's nothing on the calendar.
Yeah, that's it. And it helps with race calling as well. Getting the beautiful ovals. It's much more interesting than road courses most often.
Well, yeah, it depends on your point of view. I don't mind it myself, but yeah, there's yeah. We're an oval league, we're a stock car league.
That's it. Okie dokie. Give everybody a couple more seconds. If there's any more questions, please get them in ASAP. But we'll be looking at wrapping up very soon, Ed. And, well, it's going to be an exciting 2024 for ANZCAR.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. It's a bit of a change up for us. You know, we've been doing this since 2017. I kind of looked back the other day when I was putting together that Red Dead style launch video, and just went back through some of the photos we've got. We've been doing this a long time. We've had a number of formats through them. Obviously grew quite a lot, especially during COVID, when everybody was sort of locked indoors with nothing better to do. Yeah, it's amazing to think. But one of the things that we've always tried to do is expand in new directions and be the first to do things and to try and keep things a little bit fresh as well. So with a few other guys now jumping on that bandwagon of running the full-length seasons, as we said, it frees us up to do something a little bit different. So yeah, it's going to be really fun. It's going to be something new, something different. Hopefully we get all of our regulars coming back and a few new faces as well. And yeah, really looking forward to that. So if there are any further questions, probably post them up in the Discord. We'll have access to that. Even while I'm away, I'll have access to that, so I'll be able to answer any questions in there. And as I said, all the information, calendars, supplementary regulations, those kind of things, all going to be posted up in the Discord at the conclusion of this as well. So, yeah, watch this space.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Edward Foster. It's been a pleasure getting to chat with you tonight. We look forward to seeing you all when the racing season kicks off for the 2024 season in just a few short weeks as well. And you will no doubt hear my voice from that, of course. Thank you so much to everybody joining us tonight. Thank you for sending in the questions. And, well, we will see you soon on the racetrack. Thank you all and good night.